we very often hold off our gratitude, do we not? For whatever reason, we don't want to be emotional. We think that the person already understands how grateful we are for the things that they have done. But we very often hold back our gratitude in expressing it. And I think that when we come to times like this, we realize I could have done it some more. I'd like to express my gratitude to you. This church was very well represented during the time of the visitation on Monday night and also the funeral. And I thank you, those of you who were able to go over there for it. The second thing that I thought of as I was listening to the sermons and the different things that were being said is how much I would really like to have those virtues myself. And I recognize that I do not have them. It is a rare person that is able to put together this long list of gracious things and to do it over a long, protracted period of time so that you're able to express that and people are able to see, are you truthful or are you a fake? Is it a facade or is it really something that touches your soul? And I thought about how much I would have loved to have had all of those things in my years for the past 60 plus years and recognize that I did not. And the second thing that I thought of after my ingratitude, the second thing I thought of was, is it too late for us to change? There were people who came up to the speakers and said to them, I really enjoyed the message, and I realize I need to get closer to the Lord myself. That was spoken by someone who professes to be a Christian. And so we recognize that very often whenever oh man, I should have done, I could be, we always sometimes are bombarded by Satan who says, it's too late for you. Either you're too old to change, or you're too far into sin to change. It's too late for you. And so the question I have for us today is it too late for us to change? I suggest to you these people who decided it was not too late to change. The first one is a man who decided it was not too late to change, but he was a man who had the devil in his body. We often talk about someone being so evil, we say that person must be demon-possessed. I don't know of anyone that I actually would put into that category. But the Bible speaks about people who were demon-possessed. And there came a time when Jesus said to his disciples, let's go over on the other side of the Sea of Galilee. And so they got into a ship, and one of the things that happened seemed like every time the disciples would get with Jesus in a ship, it was always a storm. I think there might have been a reason to take a different vehicle. But every time they would get in this boat with him, it was always a storm. And a storm came up, and they were scared because they thought they were going to drown. And they went to find Jesus to tell him about the circumstances that they were in, and he was asleep on a pillow in the hull of the ship. And they woke him up, and he came out onto the deck, and he said, "Peace, be still." And the sea calmed, and the wind calmed, and the disciples looked at each other and said, "What manner of man is this?" They got to the other side of the sea, and they walked up on the land, and they went to a place where there were a lot of sepulchers, a lot of graves. And there was a man that lived in the graves. And can you imagine the homeless to the nth degree at that point? If you're living inside a sepulcher with a dead body and a decaying body, How awful that must be. But the Bible tells us that the reason he did that was that he was filled with an unclean spirit. And the unclean spirit made him so strong that when they would come to put chains on him and to bind him, to haul him away and get him out of that, he would break those fetters into pieces. And at night,